better weather than I thought, at least when it comes to the doldrums that I don't know if we even went in through them. Maybe had like 12 hours without wind, but it's hard to prepare for because you never know how the weather is going to be. You actually get content with knowing that you're never going to arrive. And I guess since I've never sailed before, and once we got hit by that first squall, like 2 nights in or something, that really scared me, and it puts you. It really humbles you because you can't do shit pretty much, and it feels like everything is just gonna crash, and mast is gonna break, and sails are gonna rip apart. But then you figure it's just a lot of rain and a lot of wind. But eventually we got out of it, and since then the other ones that we passed was significantly lesser in like wind strength and also in rain, so those felt like sort of a piece of cake. But the overall experience has been really good, and I enjoy it, even though now when you get closer to land you start to really look forward to going into land. So it's just now the countdown is definitely begun. We figured out that it's Saturday today at least, and we should have roughly 4 days left to Salvador, which is great. Really looking forward to go ashore and have a shower, or at least 5 showers maybe, but thank God for baby wipes.
Well, we're experimenting with stuff we just found. We just figured we have some chocolate powder for like chocolate drinks, and then I just figured let's try to do some chocolate cake. We're 2 days out from Brazil, and the sugar urge is just craving too much.
Is this breakfast?
No, the breakfast was actually leftover burritos from yesterday, or some rotis or whatever. So this is
second breakfast.
Second breakfast / lunch. We'll see. Yes, now it just looks like a bad hangover, I would say. Wait for the magic moment of this magical sauce just to. This would be amazing. It looks terrible, but it's gonna be amazing. So, the recipe is quite easy. 3 eggs, shitload of, oh boy, rather stuff with chocolate, a little bit of flour, and then some sea salt, a little bit of cinnamon in, lots of love, and a really good shot of coffee. And voila, magical. So, Jonathan, would you like to taste what we've done here? There's a good spoonful.
Quite salt. Very salt.
Maybe a little bit too much of the sea salt then. But nothing a little bit of sugar can't help. Let's just put some sugar in there, and then
yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. It was really salt. Sugar thing, yeah, there we have. That's cool. That salt is gone. It's a typical chemical reaction. More sugar just removes all the salt. Good. Finally, the moment of truth. Now, let's just see this beauty. Look We have no idea. They're a little bit in all kinds of ways, but it looks firm enough. So now we're just gonna have it standing here for a couple of minutes. Then we'll cut it up and see how the verdict goes. Be back in 5 minutes. Let's take this one. Go with this. Jonathan, it's a little bit hot. Try it out.
It's like a piece of leather or something, but
Blodpudding.
it's actually quite good. Less salty.
So the sugar worked.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, it's actually pretty good.
Then one piece for me as well, and then just 3 more per person later on.
Time to create our own luck.
So this is the last fishing lure we actually have, pretty much. We've had one on now for 15 days, not a single bite or anything. So we just figured we go for the last one we have, the big one.
With a nice little hook. Hopefully this one will change our luck. It would be nice to at least have eaten fish once over that we caught ourselves over the Atlantic. But hey, 4 days left and no luck for 15 days. I'd say the odds are against us, but at least it's a pretty color on this one.
So how are we actually fishing, Jonathan?
So we have a lure, different shapes, sizes, at least we had. Now it's this one. It's a bit bigger. Usually what we have is like a metallic leader that will hopefully, like, if the fish actually swallows the entire bait, I think the idea is that the leader will then, since it's in like stainless steel or something, it won't get chewed off that easy if you compare it to like a nylon piece of string that we have here. And after that, I think this one is what, like 15 meters maybe?
25, 20 and something like that.
Yeah. This is like 20 meters of 1.6 millimeters nylon that we have. So what we do once we change the lure is just throw it off and let it drag off the boat. And what we have here is our like suspension, I guess, which will decrease the what do you say, like
the stress when bigger fish or a fish, just a fish in this case.
Well, exactly. When a fish attacks the bait or the lure, this one will reduce the stress on the nylon line. And this is like what, like 2 meters of bungee cord that we have attached to a cleat here. So ideally, once you have a fish, you just pull in the line by hand. Worst case scenario, you gotta wear gloves, I guess, if it's like a big fish, so the nylon doesn't go through your hands. And if you do get a fish, we have a fishing hook that we can grab onto the fish with and bring it up here. And that's where we do the nasty gutting of the fish. But it's also good when you have like a lure in this color, because you can see it all the way out there. And hopefully, I mean, it will be very cool to see a fish actually try to swallow the bait while you stare at it, but I guess that won't happen in our lifetime, but never know, eh? So that's pretty much how this system works. And usually we have 2 lines, but we lost all the lures on that line, so we have taken it away, so we only have 1 now. That's pretty much it.
So I understand that this doesn't really mean that much to anybody, but this is the first time in what feels like 15 days we're not having the wind straight in our faces. Can finally open up the cockpit tent and actually let some breeze in, not sweating to death in the 40 degrees. We're doing decent speed. Like Jonathan said, only 3-4 days more to go. And the water is just completely clear. Completely like light blue, even though it's 3,000 meters down. It would be very, very nice getting to Brazil.
No stress, Bluetooth.
Some Caprinas maybe, and like Jonathan said, a long, good shower. Maybe have somebody else cook something that isn't from a can. Yeah. But it's still okay. When it's this weather, it can take a couple of extra days. We still have water, bottled water, canned food. The fridge stopped working today though. That's a bummer.
This is where I live. It's a smaller space than my bathroom at home in my apartment, but it actually is very comfortable. So far, no issues with falling around in the bed while heavy waves and stuff like that. I usually, like the width of the bed is like 220 or something ish. So sometimes when it's heavy waves, I lay on the diagonal and just like push my feet into the wall so I don't fall over. But it works very good. So now the other annoying thing while you're out sailing in weathers like this, where it's like 35 degrees in the boat, is that it gets very warm. And since it's been very wavy almost the entire passage, it's been quite not dangerous per se, but in the way that if you open the windows you might get a big wave over your face while sleeping. So like the humidity in here is quite nasty, and but you get used to it. Otherwise it's a very comfortable bed. This is where I have my entire life pretty much, as of now at least, even though it's very much reduced, but so long I haven't really missed anything from back home, I would say. It feels like I have way too many clothes. I'm probably gonna give some away somewhere. But I have like extra winter gear for when we go down to Patagonia if it actually would be freezing. I have like a down jacket, offshore sailing gear and whatnot. Store my computer in here, some books, but majority is just clothes. And yeah, I think that was the end of this cribs.
And like Jonathan said, it's the humidity in these cabins, or you can feel it already now. You're sweating by going in here. It's great. I mean, it could be cold, and the warmth is quite okay. The only problem is that this is in the front of the boat, and the latest 14 days we've gone straight against the wind and the waves, so it's just been splashing all over. So obviously this is where all water is coming first. So these windows haven't been opened in just as many days.
And has it helped you to have closed windows with protecting yourself from water?
Absolutely not. As this hatch up here is one of the things I now have on my to-do list, because I could just as easily just have the windows open. It's just been constantly dripping down from here. You can see it all around that the old paint is coming out and the water is just pouring down into the sides down here. So it's pouring down here, it's pouring from here, and while we're tilting it's just constantly dripping in my face. Down here it's just constantly dripping on my stomach. And as we're tilting this way, I have to be on this side, because even if I'm laying on this side, of course I'm just rolling over to this side. So it's just getting incredibly wet.
It's a waterbed.
It's a real waterbed. It's even moving like a waterbed. And then that's why I fixed this really fast setup with a fan that's always on, and just hanging onto my one shirt, trying to get some circulation in here. But it doesn't help. It fucking doesn't help, man. It's just as warm. We have approximately like 100 miles to go, and this guy cannot wait for a real shower. Well, then again, I think it's the first time actually we've been in rain without that much wind, so yeah, well.
Salvador!